Hello, good evening everybody, welcome along to PSGL Season 26 F1 Round 3, here for the British Grand Prix at Silverstone. I'm your commentator Owen, with me as always is Austin. Welcome along, can't wait for this one.
Yeah, I can't wait for it as well. It's not a track I personally like driving. I think I say that every time I get to commentate over the Silverstone circuit, but it certainly is a track I enjoy watching drivers racing, and with a field like this, I don't think it's going to be any different.
Well, hopefully we should be getting a good race here. Most of the time when we get to commentate on this track, we get great racing. So I'm hoping that we'll get the same tonight. But we're just waiting to see what the weather's going to be. I really hope it doesn't rain. Really hope it doesn't rain.
Yeah, one thing that could change that is potential rain. I mean, this is Great Britain after all. But look at those clear blue skies. A couple clouds, but for the most part, this is fantastic weather. This is racing weather right there.
Proper weather. Because this track is miserable in the wet. I commentated on a race last week and it was full wet throughout. And it's just impossible to race around here. Because there's so little grip, it feels like. And I've driven it in the wet myself a few times. It is so slippery. And you'd think that means, oh, you'll get loads of accidents, but
hold on, look at how everyone is leaving the pit lane.
Well, this is...
That has me thinking right now. Everyone wants to get out immediately. What if the conditions change over the course of qualifying?
It could mean that. It could also maybe mean they want to just try and get 4 runs in. They are easily going to qualify in the sauce, I think. It's one of the most simple strategies of the season, because the softs and the mediums, they last forever. And so I reckon they're actually going at this quickly because they want to try and get 4 soft runs in. They don't have to worry about mediums or anything, they can just go flat out. What this will do is it will create a lot of traffic and it could ruin a few laps and it could switch this all up a bit. But luckily for Vast Racer, he was the first one out there, he's not going to have to worry about any of that traffic.
Yeah, but this is very, very busy. 17 of the 19 cars out on track right now. The only 2 cars still in the pit lane. Never mind, it's 18 now with BDG Fabi, the only driver still in the pit lane. And I would assume he's going to make his... No, he's not going to make his way out any moment now. Or is that dot moving? Yeah, it is. So he's making it out of the pit lane as well now. Obviously, one thing to mention here, the pit lane is only 60 kilometers per hour or 37 miles per hour. Fast, so it's the reduced speed, meaning with how long this pit lane is, you're going to lose a lot of time in the race.
Yeah, the reason they have to do that is because with where the pit entry is, you actually get to miss the last few quarters of the track, and so they've got to slow you down so you don't actually gain time in that pit lane, so that's why it's so slow. Very annoying for the drivers. They'll always think, oh, hold on, we've got a collision out there. Blizzard
and Gill.
Now they are right with each other on the track, and well, Blizzard has got a 5-place grid penalty already. I don't know if he's got any damage or anything. No, it's no damage, I don't think.
No
he's
damage
just
for
got...
either of them. For Gill, no damage either, so...
And look at this, Austin. Look how tight this all is. This feels like a safety car restart rather than a qualifying section.
It really does. It really does. The leader, however, BSL Master Race is already... near the end, no, he's beyond the end of the first sector. He's in the second sector already. While some other cars are still waiting to start their lap.
His teammate is invalidated there. That's bad news. That's the thing they got to worry about. When there's such a pack of racing like this, you can't make any mistakes. Well, it's just so easy to get under pressure because if you're looking all around you, you'll be worrying, am I in a good position? Am I going to catch anyone? Or is anyone going to catch me? Am I not quick enough? And you'll go wide. And with these track limits, my goodness, it's going to catch a lot of them, especially at Stowe, because Stowe's a corner where last year they would comfortably go off to Narnia. They can't do that anymore. If they even go the slightest bit wide, it can catch them out. And so they've really got to be careful about this. Faster Racer has kept it clean. He is the first one to start a lap. He'll also be the first one to finish one. And that means you go P1 regardless. It's 24.3, I imagine. That will get beaten by a few. I've already got Juiced beaten in there by 0.3 of a second. We've got a few more crossing the line. We've got Onyx going P1. We've got Ash Best coming across in P3. Jordan Knight coming around the final corner. And he's to go P3. And then Danny, we're expecting to go high, and he does indeed. P1.
Wow.
already straight into the mid-23s where we're expecting Paul to be. I'm seeing some people are saying about 23-4 possibly, something like that, but we'll see. Sparks, the championship leader, went P5 there. We've got a Red Bull of Blizzard going 7th, which is actually 12th now. You can't appeal that penalty, unfortunately. It's unless there's any restart or anything, but yeah, he's sort of stuck with that now. Recon goes 5th, which is then replaced by Lane because he's gone 4th. Quick fire stuff here. Tactician with the slowest time, and then we got Fireman going up to P2. Still a few more out there. We got Fabi, and then I wonder. Yeah, that's the last one on that first stint. So fast and furious stuff then at the start of qualifying. All the times have been within a second. Let's hope Fabi can continue that trend around the final corner. Don't jinx it. 13th.
Well, I'm not surprised that all the times are within a second of each other. In the leaderboards, as I always try to look through these to get an idea of the pace of the drivers. What I saw was that the guy who's leading right now, Danny, also leads in the leaderboards with a 23.5. So just slightly better, a tenth better, but I think he will get there over the course of the session. As will probably many others who will still improve on their time. And the worst driver I found was the reserve driver, Samu Bean, obviously not filling in here today, with a 1 minute 24.3. So 8 tenths on the leaderboards between all these drivers, and we see a similar trend continue here with 1 second right now. It will probably come down a bit further as we now have Aero, Prenens, and TableClan after messing up their first laps, now on their second out laps.
Should be worth pointing out that Louis is not here tonight, and so that will mean it'll be 3 rounds, 0 points. Something which I don't think we've ever seen from Louis before. He's had such a torrid start to the season. No pace whatsoever in Austria. Binned it at the end of the race in Hungary. He wasn't on for points anyway, I don't think. It's just not going well at all. Jordan's having to do all the heavy lifting right now for Mercedes, and he's going to have to do it again tonight, which is a big blow indeed. But that means we've only got 19 drivers, and Prenez, let's see where he can go on this leaderboard. We haven't seen an onboard lap yet. I do tend to jinx these when I do them, but I'm hoping this one won't be jinxed. As we watch Prenez in his Williams. He did invalidate his first lap in I think at the end of the first sector, probably at Brooklands on the exit, I'd imagine. Quite difficult there, that one, because you're obviously putting as much speed as possible in there. And you always think you can put more speed in there than you actually can. So we'll see how he takes it this time round. 26.7 in the first sector. It's the apex well, goes to the exit, and there's no issues this time round. I see them always short shifting on the way out there to reduce the wheel spin, and then you stay right tight in as we head on towards Copse Corner. Pretty much flat out. The downforce on the car will make you slow a little bit, but you are fully flat. And now into the Magans-Beckett section. I am seeing an AlphaTauri up ahead. I don't know what sort of speed he's doing on, I assume, an outlap. Could be a bit of a tow coming up here. Prenez nearly onto the grass, maybe a little tip onto the grass. And yeah, look at that, Gill giving him a slipstream. I'm sure he didn't intend to, but maybe 1 or 2 mile an hour gain there from Prenez. Into Stowe now. Nicely done, nowhere near extending the corner. And then into the last few corners now. A bit of a lock up on the way in, but still hits the apex. And then towards the finish line, a 1 minute 23.6 to beat, and Prenez goes 5th, 4 tenths off.
Yeah, I'm looking at Viati Aero in case you are wondering, hold on, that Renault, isn't that usually driven by Casper? Yes, indeed it is, but Casper also was not able to make it tonight, so Viati Aero is filling in for him. That's why we do have 19 runners, so Sammy Bean was not able to fill in as Aero goes P8. Right in between the BDG boys of Jordan and Recon. Recon, by the way, a new signing. You may remember, first 2 races, he was TTG Recon 33, and now he is BDG Recon. Dropped the number, changed out the TTG for a BDG, and is now a member of Brutal Democracy. Another change we have had as well. If you look in P17, you may be wondering, wait, who's this NWS Christmas guy? I've never seen a guy called Christmas on this game. You just didn't realize it. His name was Noel, which stands for Christmas.
In French.
And he was a part of VRT. Now he has also switched teams, has been picked up by NWS.
And Onyx through the first sector is going purple at the moment in his racing point. We've now got that second wave of laps coming through from the guys that were able to set one in the first stint of laps. Just over 8.5 minutes to go. I was saying 4 runs. I don't know if we'll get that. It'll be right on the line if anyone can manage it. But we'll see. Regardless, these laps all count anyway, so they'll want to give it their all. And Onyx has cut Beckett's there, I believe. And that will be his lap ruined then, so we're going to have to find the next person on a lap, which I believe is Sparks, who's up by a 10th at the moment, and now up by 2 tenths, so nearly a quarter of a second. Purple middle sector for him. Stays away from Tactician, could have maybe nicked a little toe, but decided not to. And now up towards the last few corners now. Will Sparks be able to put himself a bit higher on the grid? He's only P12 at the moment, but a quarter of a second upgrade, that'll put him way up into the top 5. Let's see where he goes. P4.
Yeah, meanwhile, I think we will have an improved provisional pole time as Danny,
oh, yes,
there he is, comes across the line. Only 35 thousandths of a second. So, not much of an improvement, but it certainly is an improvement. And as we see here, with how close it is between all these drivers, this certainly can make the difference at the end of the session.
Here comes Walters up to the line, P11, just outside that top 10. We've now got Liam, but he invalidated. How's his teammate doing? Blizzard currently going to be starting last on the grid with that 5-place grid penalty at the moment. Not improving, he's into the pit lane. A dreadful session so far then for Blizzard.
Yeah, I'm looking at Recon right now as he is in Maggots, Beckett's and Chapel. Just ending the second sector really close. He is still on full throttle. He's half a tenth quicker. This would actually improve him by 2 positions right now ahead of Vouchers up to P11. Depending on the final sector, he gets Stowe quite well. Left a little bit to be desired there, but certainly very close. Oh, uses a lot of curb there through the club section, through Vale in the club section, and he does actually improve beyond Aero and Vouchers, and up to P11 he goes. I think there's someone else coming. Tactician. Yep, final corner. Wow, P6. Another driver into the 1 minute 23s, the 7th driver to do so, and he also pushes down Onyx 1 more position.
Right, don't think we've got any more on flyers at the moment, but we have got some idle laps still going on. I believe Prentice will be the first one to start a lap again. So we'll follow him then in the Williams. Currently, a second separating the whole field, but just over 3/4 of a second separating the top 18. So very impressive stuff so far. Let's see where Prunez can go on this lap. He's P9 at the moment, 4 tenths off pole. It's just so tight in this gap. Even a few hundredths could be the difference here between top 10 or, you know, outside the top 15 even. It's so tight. And the fastest laps are probably still to come yet with track evolution and just more confidence on your laps, etc. for these guys. Let's see how Prunez is getting on then. Through the first sector, a little bit slower than his last attempt, just by a couple of hundredths there. And then again, you can see they're going down to second and up to 5th now in the exit for Prunez. He went for 4th last time. He had a bit of wheel spin, then he decides that this time he's going to do it a little bit higher on the gears. Interesting to see that, Tati. You don't see that in too many other corners on this game. And again there, through Cops, it is flat out. I know he's losing speed, but he isn't lifting. But all looking good again so far.
I can tell you already, you will see this a little bit, I expected at least, when we head to round 6 on the calendar, which is the Dutch Grand Prix. I think you will see it there on the exit of turn 3. But there are very few corners in the whole calendar, and I don't just mean the PSGL calendar, I mean the whole 22 race F1, the original F1 calendar, the F1 2020 calendar. There are very few corners where you actually see this sort of stuff happen, where the wheel spin needs to be reduced by that much, as Prinins does not improve. Juice coming across the line. He is 0.08 of a second up, and he moves up. Wow. Look at how close it is between P2 and P6. That is 0.04 of a second, and Juice somehow finds the space to fit in there.
He took the shorter line to the finish. You can see through the final corner, he stuck way to the inside as much as he could there. That could have gained him an extra couple of hundredths there. That could be the difference. I mean, as you see, just how close it is, as you said. Very creative stuff there. I wonder if more might try that. Jordan, currently at the bottom of that little train from second to sixth. He started his lap a little bit earlier than the rest. I wonder if they are just sort of staying in the pits and not going to go for a fourth run. And Jordan, I guess he can say if this lap isn't going too well, he can just abandon it. But he has the track to himself.
Oh, spin!
Well,
oy, oy, oy.
That makes this decision for him.
Yeah, thankfully no impact whatsoever. It was staying out of the wall. But you see why drivers are now shifting up to fourth and fifth gear out of Brooklyn, or Luffield, sorry, out of Luffield.
Well,
you see that now?
Yeah, well,
I think that's why.
He had that wheel spin by the looks of it. He went straight into the gravel as well. That's the thing. You really just have to have a plan, because said you have a little slide. This is what we are saying. A little slide when you're in lower gear, you're in trouble with that gravel trap. It comes right up on you, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. And Jordan found that out the hard way. Now the problem he's got now is that yes, there's 265 on the clock. We think it could be wrong again, but we'll say that for now. For instance, it is 255 or whatever. This is such a long pit lane. He might struggle actually to get a final lap in. We'll see, but this could be quite a difficult one for him actually.
I think it'll be all right.
If anything, he'll certainly be the last across the line.
Yeah.
You would imagine. Although there are more in the
point,
pits actually. There's a arrow just followed him in.
Yeah, and at that point you're fighting for position, because you're going to have a lot of people trying to be the last guy across the line, and it's getting tricky. It's getting tricky. As Vasaracer is now the first one to start what will be his final run. He was the first one to set a lap time. He's going to be the first one to set his final lap time as well, as he now comes across the line to start and get through turns 1 and 2. First heavy braking zone coming up right here. So far looking good. Takes a bit of a wider line on the exit of turn 3, which puts him narrow for turn 4. Not exactly the best way to do it. You want to give yourself a little bit more entry into turn 4, because you have such a long straight here. The Wellington straight. Now into Brooklands. Yeah, gets it nicely. Very well done. Look out for the gear. Shifts up to 5th. Yep, that's what they all do now. I think that's the consensus here, really. Shifts early up to 7th. Could have revved it out maybe a little bit more, but now through Cops. Left a little bit there. Could have opened up the steering just a bit. There is someone in front. That is good awareness there to pull out of the way before Maggots. That looked very good to me in terms of the line. 1/10 up and a bit. This would be good enough for second. Would not be good enough to challenge Danny through Stowe. This is where he can gain or lose a lot of time. And oh, this is perfect. This was the perfect line right there for Vasaracer coming through Vale and Club. This looks good. Take the narrow line. Yes, he does. And it is P2. Oh, 400ths of a second behind Danny. But he will at this point probably drop a little bit further, I would assume.
He should give it some.
Sparks. What was that from Sparks? He started.
Still
I
fifth.
do not understand.
Still
so
fifth.
he did not improve. I think he's just angry because he was weaving left and right as soon as he came across the line.
Right, look at these three. These three, I just gotta say, 15 seconds. I think they're all gonna make it, but I think Juiced fancies being the last one across the line. That could be crucial for him, sitting down there in P4, but he's got to get a move on.
4, 3,
oh, he's not
we'll
gonna...
see.
Oh, that's...
He did make it!
That's
and
mad.
Arrow is the last one, and Arrow also made it, apparently, so our timer's wrong again.
Here's
he
Danny.
did actually make it, as we have Danny,
23.5,
12 thousandths of a second behind his time trial time.
Liam
up to P3, Gil up to P4. We're going to see everyone. This is going to be frantic now. Onyx up to P2. Wow! Out of nowhere. 23.58, really close. Table Clan does not improve, stays down in P15, and at that point he will only drop further. Valter's now coming across the line. He's half a tenth up, and he does actually improve a lot by a quarter of a second up to P10. Will probably drop further, though. We have Ashbest in 15. There's a lot going on. I think
Blizzard
next one's
Invalid.
Blizzard.
He's going to start
Invalid.
last.
Yeah. Oh, and he puts it into the wall as well.
Not a happy customer there. Christmas
14th.
14th, there you go, 8 tenths between the whole pack. I wonder If it'll get a bit lower than that,
17.
it does indeed.
So Blizzard will indeed be last.
Here comes Prines, up by not too much. And we're still waiting for Juice, remember, and Jordan and others.
There you go, 10th, P11.
Here's Jordan.
Arrow has invalidated, so we're to the top 10 now. Jordan, how far can he go? Does not take the narrow line and remains in P9 and Juice into the pit lane. That means qualifying now over. And Danny takes pole position ahead of Onyx and Vast Racer. A VSR 2-3 right there. Oh, this is going to be interesting. This is going to be a great race. Those two trying to challenge Danny for the win. And you got to remember as well, Onyx right now in the championship, 10 points. A third place in the season opener in Austria. And then a 13th, very disappointing. Sorry, I'm in the wrong way around, actually. Onyx 13th in Austria, then 3rd last week in Hungary. I messed him up with Jordan right above. They actually had the inverse results. And Vasta Racer, 7th and 6th, very consistent, but he's never been that high before. I mean, he had pole position, but he's never finished that high before this season. 7th and 6th. Maybe this is his opportunity to finally bring home a good qualifying result.
Right then, so let's just quickly go through the entire field, because I think Noel said actually he thinks his wheel's broken, so the excuses are out already. I wonder what the rest are going to have, but it's Danny on pole, Onyx, Fast Racer, Liam, Gill, Feynman, Juiced, Sparks, Jordan, Waters, Prines, Tactician, Arrow, Christmas, then Recon, Ash Best, Fabi, Tableclan, and Blizzard. He's going to start last, even regardless of the penalty, he qualified last. And whole field separated by 0.766. What a qualifying. What a grid. And it has to be said, massive disappointment for the championship leader as well. Gonna expect some sort of comeback for him, hopefully.
Yeah, P8 is certainly not what he was hoping for. And he's gonna have to at least deliver some sort of recovery drive. But, I mean, you look at the gaps between P1 and P13, it's less than half a second. And that's what this track really does, because there's not too many sort of complicated corners, let's say. You know, the most difficult corner on this track is, as we saw, turn 7, Luffield, where the drivers have sort of found their own consensus, maybe independent from each other, maybe not. That 5th gear out of there reduces the wheel spin enough to make sure that you don't have to sort of compromise in terms of throttle application and steering, but you actually get the best push out of the corner.
Right, and so it looks like it's going to be a dry race. Fingers crossed anyway, it stays dry, because like I say, we don't like this track in the wet, trust me. But, yes, I don't think we're going to have any lobby glitches as well this week, which is always a good thing. Saying that though, the start is almost certainly going to be a glitchy mess, but...
yeah, don't jinx it, Owen, don't jinx it.
Oh, well, this is what I'm saying. It's 100% going to be the glitchiest start you've ever seen. Wink, 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 wink. But, yeah, let's see the tires roll starting on for this non-glitchy start. I mean, very glitchy start.
You're trying to jinx and counter-jinx it at the same time. I see what you're doing.
It's a fine art. It's a very fine art.
Yeah, man. I mean, you made it too obvious.
Oh, well. Anyway, we know the tyres we started on for the top 10, obviously all on the sauce. Then outside top 10, we've got Prines on the sauce, along with Ash Best and Tableclan. And the rest, Tactician, Aero, Christmas, Recon, Fabi and Blizzard are on the medians. No one's really going to go anywhere near the hards unless you have a lap 1 incident, I'd imagine, because it's just useless when the medians and the softs go so far. Anyway, so this should be a pretty simple strategy. Safety cars could mess about with it a little bit. We'll see.
Yeah, here's the thing about the hard tyre. The hard tyre basically goes the whole race. I'm not even joking. The race is 26 laps long. The hard tyre lasts 25 laps. So if you have a crash at lap 1, you have to pit. You lose your front wing. Go on to the hards to go to the rest of the race. It's actually possible. But here we see the pit stop strategy. At least for me, it's popping up right now. I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a bit.
Lap 10 to 13 it shows. That's a pretty good estimate of the pit window for the soft to medium runners. Lap 10 to 12 is where I would put it, but 10 to 13, you know, that 1 lap extra for those who want to get a little bit fancy in terms of strategy. For the medium runners, it's probably going to be around lap 14 to 16. However, there might be some drivers who fancy the pit stop from the mediums to the softs right at the midway point of the race, so lap 13 could be some sort of undercut potential right there, but I'd expect 14 to 16 for the medium runners and 10 to 12 for the softs.
Right then, we're all waiting for the last car of Blizzard to park it up on the grid. And once he does that, we should get the 5 lights. Hopefully they'll turn up. And we'll get the British Grand Prix underway here in PSGL Season 26, Round 3. It's the British Grand Prix. 5 lights are on, and we are away in Silverstone. And look at that. That is the most non-glitchy start I've ever seen in my entire life, Austin, there. For Blizzard, who's made 9 places by turn 1. Incredible stuff. And look at Gill up to P3 ahead of
What a
Asterisk.
lightning start from Blizzard right there, God.
He must
I
have
can't wait
jumped
for this
it.
to happen in F1 esports, honestly.
Surely he's jumped it and it just hasn't told us. He has to have jumped
100%,
the start.
100%.
But
oh, man.
we are side by side here with Gill and Vast Racer for P3. Gill does back that one off, but he certainly gave it a good go. Danny held on to the lead as well, Onyx in second. We know those two had a good fight last week and a bit of contact. Hopefully they don't have the same thing happen to them this week. Elsewhere down the field we've got Ferrari and Alpha of Walters and Raycon fighting away, but everyone appears to be getting through nice and cleanly, which we all want to see. But look at that on the inside there. Sparks trying to get by Blizzard. Sparks lost a few positions on the start and he's probably just as bewildered as the rest of us. To see Blizzard all over the back of him. He's wondering, what on earth has he got there? That does make Blizzard now the highest runner on the mediums, but I don't know if you can check the race director and see if it says jump start. It certainly didn't say anything on my screen.
No, there's 5 warnings for different collisions. Liam and Voster Racer, Juiced and Thyman and Juice, and Gill and Voster Racer, and exceeded track limits already for Prinens. 1 warning already on the
that's
first lap there for him.
contact. Walters into the back of Blizzard at the Vale chicane. He was trying to go past, I believe, Aero, and he's got it completely wrong there. And he's down to the back. I don't think anyone else got any damage, but Walters just past the pit lane as well. Can't get a good look at that front wing, but the left-hand side is
Left
damaged.
side damage.
Yeah.
End plate gone. Should be alright for 1 lap. He's not going to lose too much time, but he's going to lose some time for sure. And it's going to be a pit stop lap 2 onto the hards for Wouters, and basically maybe hoping for a safety car. I don't think there's any other way to salvage this, but I mean, who needs qualifying when you can just have that lightning start and just gain 8 positions on the first lap? Like, you don't need qualifying for that. You can actually get a 5-place grid penalty for some sort of incident that may or may not have been justified. We didn't see it, so no judgment there from us. But the game handed out a 5-place grid penalty. Just start from the back and just get that sort of start, and that's how it works quite easily.
I don't know if Blizzard was the Blizzard's the host of the lobby, isn't he? I just wonder if he got some benefits because of that, because obviously he would be the one, I guess, with the most stable-ish internet, so he'd actually get the start to maybe happen at a different time for him. That's the only reason I could come up with as to why that's happened to him. But yeah, regardless of that, he's 11th now, so he'll take it. Not on the points yet, but he's certainly put himself in the frame. He is now the highest of the medium runners, so you know, life gives you lemons and all that. So yes, we can see Danny, by the way, has made a 2.5 seconds already on Onyx, so he has decided that he's not going to be putting himself under any pressure this week. He's just going to get on with it, and it's going to leave all the pressure to Onyx this time round, who's going to have a pretty massive train. In fact, pretty much the entire field. Look at that.
Looking at it, I don't see a gap there that is larger than a second between anyone other than Fabi and Wouters. Down at 18th and 19th. That's because Wouters is now in the pit lane. So Onyx, I mean, I'm pressing the right stick down right now. That is a frightening sight. To see the whole field behind you. This is scary. If I was Onyx, I don't want to say what I was about to say, but I'm going to just say the words code brown. I think you understand what I mean. Like, this is very, very frightening stuff right there. Having the whole field behind you just trying to get your position. And in front, you can barely see Danny. He's already pulled away 1.5 seconds. And he's He's just a dot on the screen. That's all he is. Maybe a couple pixels.
Good news is we can now have the luxury of seeing what Onyx sees, and yeah, it is a very worrying sight. But at the minute he's doing well to defend from it, mainly because he's just got a gap just high enough so that he can sit back and relax for a bit. But his ERS is, well, to say it's in trouble compared to the rest wouldn't be an understatement. He might need to worry about this. I must say, we're getting some horrendous camera angles. I'm very sorry about this. It's very annoying. Gotta find one that's actually good. There we go, there's one. Of Vast Eraser in his pursuit. If anything, actually, Gil is close to him, but as we've said a million times, being the third guy in a train is not the best position to be. In fact, is pretty much the worst position to be. So, yes, it'll take something special to get a pass done here, but there's 2 DRS zones, plenty of opportunity, especially when one move gets made, you'll get loads of moves being made. That's sort of how it tends to work. And you can see plenty of toe there for Gil. I just wonder if he's running a little less wind or something, because it's not even like his ERS doing that for him. He just seemed genuinely quicker in a straight line, which could be useful for him later on.
Yeah, meanwhile, I have to say, Danny pulling further and further away now, 1.8, 1.9 seconds there. And maybe Vasta racing out with a run on Onyx. Challenging for second place. He doesn't even use the overtake button, and he still gets closer. I don't think he even wants to overtake, but yet here he goes, and Onyx, oh, they're side by side. Onyx now has the inside for the Veil section, and Vasta Racer does not want to fight this right now. He just wants Onyx to get on with it, which I'm not even sure is the right call here. If you have the overspeed, if you have the pace, just go past and try and lead the train closer to Danny if possible. That way, right now, the way they did it, they just lost themselves and everyone else behind them some more time to Danny.
I'm surprised he didn't try more there. He had a bad run to the Veil chicane. Didn't give him really a chance to go through it. If he just had better braking in there, he could have been right in a position to point some moves too. Because as you say, they've lost so much time. Danny, they lost a second there in just one corner. So, yeah, Danny certainly doesn't seem to be checked out, unless of course he has some sort of incident or anything, but for now he certainly looks quite good. And Gil again with a better exit there at Luffield. I wonder if that's just where he's strong. Maybe it's not a straight line speed thing, maybe it's just pure grip. Still, he doesn't have DRS there to try and take advantage of, but he certainly gets him in a good position for later on. But it's so close right now, it's so difficult to get an advantage out of anything at the moment. But we'll see if Vast Racer can give it another go now on Onyx. Like I say, Onyx
He's
ERS,
not going to try.
It's so low that if Vast Racer was to put his up a little bit, he probably would be able to get past. But right now, he's just going to sit back and relax.
Yeah, he could just, you know, use a little bit of a spurt of ERS at the start of the straight, sort of 10% maybe. Just fly past. I mean, it's not that, like, it wouldn't be that hard, because you got to remember, with the ERS, the earlier you use it on a straight, the more its effect is multiplied, because you're already up to pace by that, you're already up to speed by that point, and then it just goes through the whole straight. So you gain so much time from applying it early on, but it seems like Vast Racer just wants to save. What if, I'm trying to think strategically here, trying to put myself in the head of Vast Racer. What if he wants to save some more ERS, because he's not using any right now and he's easily staying with Onyx. What if he wants to save and then just fly past Onyx and then have enough ERS to also pull away?
Could be a good shout, that, because like I say, Onyx has just got nothing right now in terms of ERS when it comes to defending, and that would mean in turn that once he gets overtaken, he'll have nothing to attack with either. And that certainly would be an advantage faster. He's got about twice as much at the moment, so yeah, he could be doing that. We'll see what happens when he gets up to 100%, because he should do that very soon. I mean, it has to be said again, this track is probably one of the worst for ERS if you actually have to use it, because it's always been this way, because it's just one of the most, what's the way best to say it? You're on the throttle way more here over a course of a lap than you are pretty much any other track, if that makes sense. And so you haven't got many braking zones, heavy ones, to save the ERS back up. And so yeah, basically what I'm saying is you got to have a lot, because you're not going to be saving it too often, especially if you're the guy ahead. Mind you, well, let's again, Danny, look, he's been able to save next to nothing as well. Mind you, I don't think he really minds that. We have a pitter, by the way. We have Prunez. Don't know if he had to make a change for a front line or something. But if he didn't, this could be a strategy call, because these tires probably will go to the end from here. Pretty comfortably, you'd imagine.
I'm not sure about comfortably, but they would probably make it to the end. We're talking 20 laps here. Lifespan of those mediums is 19, so this would, with some tire management, you know, with some tire whispering, I think this may be possible, but it's certainly a risky call this early for 20 laps on the mediums.
Well, if this is a strategy call, obviously with how big that train is and all this free air to push in, I mean, he could realistically make quite a lot of ground up here, because it is, as we say, a very early stop, which means he might be clear here for a few laps and could really do some undercutting.
Yeah,
I have it out race just a front wing. I have it out race just a front wing, but seeing the gap to Walters and he had to change the front wing, maybe actually that is just genuinely strategy. So let's hope it is, because we need some good strategy, and that has kicked off the pit stops.
Yeah, just 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane, did not get it slowed down in time, and that's going to hurt him. That he will not serve that at this pit stop, he will serve it at the end, which means he might actually get that removed if it's been given unfairly. All the drivers are supposed to record their own point of view, so if he has slow motion of that and he can prove that it was sort of given unfairly, which is probably very hard to do for speeding in the pit lane, then he might actually get that removed, but it's probably not going to happen. I've seen it before, but it's very rare.
Prunez nearly loses it, but he's going to go right around the outside. His tyres are much warmer. That should be an easy enough move, because Juice has just got so cold tyres. You see him locking up and sliding about. And Prunez, the undercut's already working quite well. He's still in the clearing air, and he gets some DRS as well. This is working out very well indeed at the moment.
Yeah, he was behind at the detection point, and there goes Jordan as well. Just for good measure, Juice losing 2 positions, getting absolutely mugged there. First, Prunez, who was behind at the detection point
faster racer, passing Onyx. Sorry to interrupt there, but that's P2 now.
Yeah, so Prunez was behind. My goodness.
They've both sped.
The penalty for Onyx.
Fast racer and Onyx, they both sped.
Fast racer as well, are you sure?
Yeah, he did. That's awkward. Matt, bad news indeed.
Oh yeah, so Prunez, Juice, Fast Racer and Onyx all got 5-second penalties for speeding in the pit lane, all 4 of them.
It's a tricky one, this one, isn't it, because of the slower speed. I wonder if that is genuinely just catch people out. And look at that, Fast Racer's being jumped, is he, or is it just lag? It is just lag.
It's just lag, yeah.
Gil did jump Onyx though. That wasn't
Gil
lag.
Jumped Onyx.
No, where's Prunez? Because he might get a couple of these guys. Fastest from final sector now. Anyway. Where is he going to be? Because look, there's Gil. This is a net third place, isn't it? Net third?
Yeah.
Really is working out superbly well then for Prunez. Strategic
Jordan on the inside. Oh my goodness.
Obviously, these guys have got to take advantage of the warmer tyres at the moment, and that's Gil trying to go by Prunez. Nearly contact side by side. Can Gil hold this one? He'll have the inside line now. I'm sure he'll go maybe a little bit deep to try and discourage Prunez, but he's leaving him the space. He'll get ahead, but Prunez should have a pretty good exit, and we're still going to go side by side. Pretty risky to try and do this up towards Cops.
Prunez is out of ERS. Prunez is out of ERS. Yeah. He's down to under 10%. Gil has a lot left.
Oh my goodness, he's got so close there into Cops. He's got to keep pushing. This might be his only chance to get ahead, because he knows the second that ERS runs out, he's done and dusted. Is there any way through? You'd imagine not. And I think that might be the end of his challenge. He's into the grass now. Penalty 2. Here comes Jordan. The undercut was working, but now it's not working as well as he hoped. And look at Jordan's speed. He could have almost had a go there on Gil, but wasn't close enough in the end. And Gil there, good driving to get ahead there. That was high pressure stuff.
Yeah, meanwhile, Danny and Thyman in the pits now. Let's see where Thyman comes out. Should be behind Vassarace.
Yellow flags. There's a car off. Is that Prunez now again? Yeah, it's Prunez again.
It's virtual safety car. Virtual safety car.
No,
and that means Thyman.
Yeah.
Where's he going to come out? Ahead. Thyman is in net P3 now.
Now, depending on how long this stays out, well, actually, all these guys in the front are on mediums. It wouldn't make any sense to pit. Onyx is now left session, so has this been a collision, actually, between Printers and Onyx?
Yeah, massive front... Like, the front wing is gone. It's not just front wing damage. There is no front wing.
That'll be the reason for the virtual safety car then, rather than a spin. I don't know if I actually caught that, but Onyx has come from a million miles away. So what's happened? Sorry, I was catching it. I was looking at the timing boards. I'm blind. Basically, Prentice has hit Jordan. So Jordan's spun around.
Drive through.
Yep, Fabi, as we go green again.
It could be multiple. Let me check. It is multiple. Aero, Juiced, and Fabi. Aero in second, Juiced in 11th, and Fabi in... Where is he? 5th. And Aero takes it right, and... Oh, does he take it right now, or is that his pit stop? I think he might take it right now. I think it'll have
to take the penalty now, won't it? I don't think he's got a choice. But like I say, well...
No, you have 3 laps. You have 3 laps to do it.
Well, yeah, but it'll always take priority, won't it, first? The penalty, surely.
Either
way, he's in the pits, so he's going to be in here again. So, like I say, sorry, what happened there? We did sort of see it, but then it cut away. Jordan was spun by Printers, and then I'm guessing that Onyx has found himself with nowhere to go. So that's why there's a VSC. Juice is now into the pits as well. I wonder if there was contact there too. A lot's going on here, and I'm struggling to keep up with it. I do apologise, but I'm not on my best form today. I'm absolutely dying of illness.
Just takes the penalty as well, and poor Aero. I think Aero should have stuck it out a little bit longer and wait the whole 3 laps. It's not a smart thing to take a penalty like that right away. Now he's coming out in traffic here. He's got Gil in front. Then again, maybe his thought was he's on older tires than all the guys behind. If he takes a drive-through right now, which by the way, on this track this is the worst track to get a drive-through penalty on. It's better to lose a second and a half under the safety car, or under a virtual safety car, on the Delta, than it is to actually take the drive. It's better to lose 5 seconds under the Delta than to take the drive-through penalty here, because it's just such a long pit lane. It's so long.
Right then, here, what on earth is that noise? It's a rev plate, that's what that noise is. Yeah, that's an engine that's having a malfunction there in Aero's car, which is just fantastic news. Gil on the back of Thyman, trying to get past there. This is still net P3, I'd imagine. I guess the guys that are pitting might have some pace at the end, especially Blizzard. Actually, he'll be the lead of that, remember. Yellows again. Now, that is for Jordan. Now, what's happened there? He's been off. He, I think, must have just reset the track there. That's why he was ghosted. But, yeah, that's not gone too well for him, unfortunately. It was quite close to a few others there, likes of Liam and Ash Best, etc. So I wonder there has been some collisions there, because now we've got some more fighting. Fabi there, under pressure from Liam. Liam goes past Ash Best now, going to be in his toe. Not much ERS though to use, so he'll have to get it done now if he's going to get it done at all. And he's given it everything on the ERS, but he's just run out now. Nothing to do, can't get by Fabi yet. But now on the inside, well, that was much more confident under braking, wasn't it? And Fabi didn't really have much to defend with there in the end, actually, and he's falling through, sadly. Juice retires in the pit lane.
Yeah.
And here comes Table Climb on the inside of Cops. That'll be done pretty easily, as it turns out. I just see that Fabi is struggling quite a lot at the moment, and he's down to 14th now.
No damage on the front wing, at least no visual damage. Might be that it just didn't sync on our end, but I don't see any damage there. So I would put that down to the old tires. 11 laps, almost 12 laps now on those mediums, and certainly they're not in their best shape anymore. They've seen the best days, and I think it's getting close to the point where he wants to get off of them.
Here comes Recon, trying to get second position off Tactician. Obviously it's before pit stops, but still second is second, and he's not quite able to get there at the moment. Now, that is Juice's car that's went off, not Gil's. That's just where the car's retired, because, you know, obviously pitting and retiring that way wouldn't put you in the garage, because that would be realistic, so they've decided to put him on track instead. Sparks is still the head of a pretty massive train, and I think this is for what should be a net sort of P5 at the moment. So, yeah. Good points. He's trying to keep hold of that.
Meanwhile, it is lap 13. The pit window for the medium runners who haven't pitted yet has it open as comes Recon on Tactician. Tactician doesn't even defend it. Recon takes the inside, takes the position, and he is now up to P2 on track. All the medium runners still staying out, it seems. Yep, the top 4 at least are. Let's see if maybe Aero or Fabi come in, but it won't be too consequential in the end because obviously they've had their drive-through penalties and they're basically out of contention in this one. Don't get over the delta on virtual safety cars, but guys, don't do that.
Yes, she is. Most of them try to sort of anticipate the restart rather than actually drive to the delta. They sort of say, okay, I've got a half-second window here. I can floor it. I'm sure it'll have gone by the time, you know, it's closed down. And then when they realise, it's too late. A lot of them do it for advantage. When it works brilliantly. When it doesn't, well, you're going through the pit lane, aren't you? So, risk and reward, and unfortunately most of them there, yeah, didn't work out for them. But the ambition was there. I'd imagine that's what they tried to do. We've still got Gil trying to get by Feynman, but not looking too likely at the moment. Sort of a bit of a... sort of waiting for something to happen now. These guys are all just in DRS and not passing.
Look at Gil's ERS. 100%. He is loaded. How is this possible around this track? This is amazing. He has not used any ERS at this point. That's amazing. He's on 90% still after all that acceleration from Luffield through Corpse here to Maggots Beckett's Chapel. He is absolutely loaded to the brim here with energy, and he's still not using it down the hangar straight. So, what is Gil's plan?
I mean, he could just sort of save it for the end. Because I have a feeling that's sort of when they're actually going to start racing again. We sort of have that sinking feeling that they don't want to race. It's too risky. So I guess Gil, what he can do is save it for the last 2 laps and just go absolutely mental on it. And pretty much be on overtake the whole time. I mean, that could work. But I have a feeling it's going to be a waiting game for that one. It's, well, Aero, obviously, he's going to have to pit again, isn't he? I was going to say he would be looking good as well.
Yeah. None of the drivers who started on the mediums have pitted yet. That is amazing. So I was expecting them to come in lap 14. That's when the pit window, yeah, let's say properly open. Lap 13 maybe for an undercut, but usually lap 14. None of them decided to go. Lap 15 maybe this time around. I'm having an eye on Blizzard, Recon, Tactician, and Christmas here, the top 4. They would come out, I would expect, at least Blizzard, I would expect him to come out behind Aero, or, well, behind Gil, and he stays out. Recon comes in. Recon is the first one, and Christmas follows.
I reckon these pitters, especially, I just said sort of Blizzard, I imagine they'll all sort of find themselves somewhere in this 5-car scrap for what is at the moment P10.
Christmas is more likely to be behind Table
might be behind it.
Jordan. Recon might be
look at Gil.
That battle
Gil's going for
Sparks.
it. Gil, well, he gave it a go there, and Feynman now having to defend. He's got the pearl line and free club. Nice run for Gil, but there's going to be nowhere to pass there, surely. He's giving it a go on the inside of turn 1. That's a risky one. He's going to decide he's going to back off on that one and try again later on. So he's not going to wait till the end. He's giving it some while he's got some to give. Now, Recon has come up behind Table Clan and ahead of Fabian, as you say, sort of Christmas is a bit further behind there. He's in his own sort of gap, but I'm sure he'll be able to catch on those softs.
Oh, Recon spins!
Oh, are you kidding me? I was looking forward to that. Him on the soft in the middle of that. Goodness sake. Cold tires for you, I guess. I don't know if he hit anyone, I wasn't seeing it, but...
no, he didn't, no.
Nah, just on his own. That's disappointing.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Blizzard on the hangar straight. I expect Blizzard and Tactician to both come in now. You don't want to take these mediums longer than that, and Blizzard does come in, and Tactician does follow, as expected. I would have been very surprised if any of them. There you go. Good slowdown there from Tactician. I was on board with him. Saw that very well down there. That's how you do it. Take note, everyone.
Here comes Gil again.
I expect Blizzard to be ahead of Sparks. and I expect Tactician to be in that whole battle with Table Clan and Fabi and Ashbest and Liam and Sparks, that whole group. But Blizzard should be ahead of that group.
Nice move from Gil. Got it done second time round, and he is up into what is a net P3. Unless Blizzard and Tactician start teleporting, which they won't. So Gil up to P3. Let's see where Blizzard comes out then, because
ahead of Sparks. No, not ahead of Sparks, just behind. Wow.
And then
that was close. I was almost right. I'm going to say I was almost right.
And now Tactician wants to get by Fabi as soon as possible, because now with 3, nearly 4 runners to the end of that train.
Blizzard.
Oh, wow.
Once Sparks takes the position, up to P5 he goes. And with those soft tires, he should be able to pull away. This could be a podium for Blizzard.
Could be, yeah. From last on the grid. Had a bit of help, but...
Bit of help, yeah.
I mean, with the penalties, who got penalties in that? We got no Bastros who definitely got a 5-second penalty.
I'm going to check.
Gil get one? Don't know.
So Dandy didn't even get a warning yet. Amazing. Master Racer has the 5-second penalty and an additional 3 seconds, so 8. Gil. No, just 2 warnings for Gil.
Okay, must be his teammate. Yeah, it was his teammate.
It was juiced. Yeah, it was juiced. Thyman, 2 warnings, no penalty. Blizzard, 2 warnings, no penalty. Sparks, 1 warning, no penalty. Liam, 2 warnings, no penalty. Ashbest, 2 penalty, sorry. Just got that last lap. So Ashbest, the first one there, with penalties apart from Voster Racer. Table Clan, 3 seconds. Tactician, a warning. Fabi served the drive-through, he's on 2 warnings. Christmas, a penalty. Recon, a warning. Jordan, a penalty. Aero, 5 seconds. Prinens, oh my god, 9 seconds. And I think we're through, yeah.
There it was Christmas.
Oh, and Jordan just got a 3-second time penalty there.
Christmas there ahead of Fabi now. He can chase after Tactician and the rest of that train. Blizzard already made over a second on the train. He's now chasing after a podium position. He could finish second yet. He should get by
that's
5 minutes.
stretching it.
Not really,
that's
is
stretching
it?
it.
It's not really. All he has to do is pass 2 people and 5 cents of Astro Racer. He's nearly there already. He's got. He hasn't got many laps, but he's got so much more grip.
It's 8 laps. At the end of this one, it's 8 laps, and to gain, what does that matter? Over 7 seconds in 8 laps. The difference between the softs and the mediums isn't that large.
Hold on.
Plus, the softs are going to fall away more than the mediums, so the delta between the two shrinks with every lap.
Also, he only has to gain about 3 seconds. Because 5 second penalty.
Oh yeah, Buster Race has penalties, you're right.
That's
you're
what I'm
right.
saying.
I forgot.
Pretty much. He should be alright.
If he overtakes Gil, he's second, because Voss Racer has 8 seconds in terms of penalties, so he's already ahead of Voss Racer at that point. You're right. Totally forgot about that.
Right then, so Tactician now fancies getting by Table Clan. He had a bit of a slidey exit through the loop, and Tactician is up into P9 now. He should be able to get to the front of this train, really, realistically, by the end of the race. Walters retired in the pit lane.
In the pit lane, yep.
That's a shame. That safety car really is shaking this one up right now. But it could still happen. Touch wood.
Also,
but
I don't want to say anything, but look at the sky.
Oh, that would be interesting, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I don't think any of the drivers have mentioned it. But we'll see.
It could happen.
You never know. Blizzard's now onto the back of Feynman, using the ERS. He's going to go for it on his first opportunity. Here he goes. Into Stowe, and easy as that, up into P4. Obviously using the ERS. We said about how Gil had some. He's used it all now. Maybe he should have saved it for the end.
Ashbest pushes Tactician off the track there. I'm not sure that was fine, because they were side by side here, and Ashbest certainly should have given Tactician some space here, but he didn't. Oh, this I'm not sure if this will end at on the steward's table. But looking at Tactician, I think. Oh no, I don't think he did get a warning for that. So it might actually be fine, but at the same time, gotta, all the time you have to leave a space, you know. There's a reason Fernando Alonso said that.
Well, hopefully he can stay in the fight anyway. I guess it's no harm done if there's no warnings and he can still get through all the traffic. But as I was just saying when that was happening, Gil has used all his ARS now. Blizzard has used nearly all of it. And that basically means that any advantage that Gil would have had from saving the ARS till the end is completely gone. Which is bad news if you're being chased by somebody on fresh softs. And, well, this could be Blizzard getting by now, let's see. Because, like I say, Gil, they got about the same ERS now, but Blizzard should have so much more grip. He's not even using the ERS on the straight, and he'll use it towards the end, and he should get through one and done. Decides to wait, but he should really get this done wherever he wants to. And then he can get down the road, make that 5-second gap less than 5 seconds, which, well, wouldn't take too long, you'd imagine. And then he'll be up to P2.
Well,
I know.
Here's the thing to think about what Blizzard should have going through his mind right now. As I said before, the delta between the soft that he's on and the mediums of Gil and Boston Racer and Thyman and all the guys who are on the mediums right now is shrinking with every lap. Those softs wear out quicker. So, as long as he has the most advantage, he should try and get that move done. And Gil goes defensive, but not defensive enough. Blizzard takes the inside and has the position and keeps the position. What a move.
Committed, you have to say that much, but let's see what he can do now about that gap. He should be able to close it down plenty. I mean, I know we say about the softs, but you got to remember what track we're on. The softs, they're not going to degrade to the point where they'll start losing massive amounts of time. And he should have plenty of grip at the moment to close that gap down plenty anyway. It's only his 4th lap on those tires, or 5th lap, I think. 4th or 5th.
Yeah, the point I was making was not that maybe at some point the mediums are going to be quicker than the soft. At the end of the race, they're all going to be similar pace. That's how the strategies just work out. But as long as you have the highest advantage, it's the easiest to overtake. And then, like, if Blizzard tries to overtake on lap 26 on his softs against Gil's mediums, he doesn't have an advantage anymore. Right now, he still does, and he wants to get away. And he's doing a really good job, 6/10 right now. He's really trying to pull this gap, but it's not yet a second.
Flashes of Verstappen Leclerc there for Ash Best and Tactician, binding wheels the whole way through the Vale chicane. Tactician maybe getting a bit impatient now, down inside and nearly hitting Ash Best into a spin. But I said I expected him to get to the front of this train before the end of the race, and as you said, it's now raining. Good prediction there, Austin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Call me the weatherman.
You've won a cookie for that one. That's impressive weathermaning.
When can I expect the cookie?
Well, shipping rates and stuff like that might be a while. But,
okay.
Well, we'll see. No, the big question, will we end up needing intermediates? There's 5 laps to go, including the one we're on. So,
is the rain gonna come down quickly enough for intermediates to be necessary? Right now, it doesn't look like it. There's a couple drops coming down. It's not too bad. It's all fine and dandy, you know. None of the drivers have to worry right now. There's just a couple drops, and at this rate, if that's how it keeps raining, we don't need intermediates for this one. Just a couple drops on the track. They will be driven away by the tires of the 17 runners on track.
Remember though,
a lot more rain for this.
Danny and Vast Racer and the likes who are on the mediums at the moment are on quite old tyres, and we know they've got plenty of life in them, but we keep saying, I said earlier, how slippery this track can get. Wearing tyres, slippery track, which it should be, don't count on this staying the way it is at the moment. Danny's had it all his own way so far. How funny would that be if he loses it to this? Belgium 2008, anyone?
Yeah, this has all those ingredients. But it's not raining nearly enough. These few drops that come down here and there, this isn't enough. No way. This is not going to be enough. It's gonna. At this point, the skies would have to open up, and then we might see the intermediates be the better time by the beginning of lap 26. But it doesn't look like it, and so we're gonna race under these sorts of...
Look at this.
It's not even rain.
I don't want to interrupt this, but look at the fight we've got here. From Maggots and Beckett, my goodness me. I have no idea how Recon and Table Clan haven't come together. That was superb race, and that was 3 cops and all. And now, actually, Recon Sally's going to lose out. A bit of contact there as well. Christmas wants to get 2 for 1, and he's done so.
He does, yeah.
And there goes Recon as well. That's ambitious.
What
He's going to spin it. Oh, wow, good save, good save. But,
yeah.
it was going to boil over eventually, that one. Table Clan now trying to get back by his teammate. Not going to happen, but I'm going to say, we've still got just under 5 minutes in this race to go. I mean, that rain, even if it's light, it will still build up, and as you say, it could be coming into on the last lap. But it's not going to be worth the pit stop. And that's just going to make it difficult for these guys, because they're going to have to stick it on these dries.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still trying, like, what I always do is I'm just going on board and look at onboard sort of capture, and what I see is that it's not nearly raining enough for anything here. This is going to go to the end. If you want to make a move happen, I'm looking at Liam Ashbest. Yeah, Liam Ashbest, Tactician, maybe Christmas. You're gonna have to do it in these conditions. There is no way around that. You're gonna have to do it on these tires. You're not gonna be able to hope for some sort of, it's gonna start raining, maybe that's gonna bail me out or something. At this point, we are going to the end in these conditions with this very, very light rain. It's not even rain, it's a drizzle. It's really just a drizzle. Yeah, we're going to the end on this. 2 more laps to go as Danny crosses the line. And another, what is this? 11.8 kilometers left to go.
So, again, with this train, we're still waiting for Tactician to make any progress at this train. Christmas looks more likely to make some progress. Just because he's been able to make some moves right now. But surely Tactician might fancy making the moves now. He's got to. He's still got the advantage on the tyres. He's got to use that as the rain. It does look like it's getting a bit heavier now. It's less than spitting. It's more sort of, you can probably see the droplets coming down slightly more heavily. Still shouldn't be a massive problem for these guys yet. But again, you can't pit, so if it does become a problem, well, good luck with that. They're just going to hold their nerve here. The problem with Danny here is he's going to be the first one to see all of these conditions.
And Fabi pits for Inters.
I don't think that's a good idea, but I guess what's he got to lose? Unless, what's he got to lose, but what's he got to gain at the same time? I mean, if there were another 5 to go, yeah, but there's 1 to go.
But even then,
you know?
I mean, look at how little it is raining. It's still not nearly at a point where it makes sense. Even if there were 10 laps at this point, you wouldn't do it right now.
Right, this fight has got to get something started now. It's got the biggest train on the track and nothing's changing in there. Tactician's still not finding a way past. No one finding a way past. Bit of a disappointing one, I can't lie with this. Come on! Do something!
Just take a stick and poke them, do something. By the way, someone's asking in chat whether Blizzard has a penalty. He has not.
Right then, here is Danny, final lap. You can see with the sector times the rain is not affecting them at all. And he looks to be heading on to a second victory of the season. I don't know who has the fastest lap. It's not him, it's Christmas.
Yeah.
Back to that fight one more time.
Yeah, which means we could see the first fastest lap point given this season. Because the first 2 races it was Christmas in 12th and Blizzard in 19th, so they did not get any point for that.
Right, now let's just see. Danny, we'll see if anything happens in that fight at the end of the race, but I have a feeling that we're not going to get too much unless someone starts dive bombing. Fabi losing about 10 seconds per lap on the inter, so as we say, just not wet enough. Not that that's going to dampen Danny's spirits as he comes through the Vale chicane in towards Club. He'll see the checkered flag as Fabi bins it. And he's going to regain the lead in the challenge as well. Danny wins the British Grand Prix. He could probably have went all day. He was that dominant. And Fast Racer, well, he's second at the moment. He should fall down to, we think, third or fourth, I'd imagine. Blizzard second. He could even be fifth, yeah, we'll see. Gill, and yeah, you're right, Feynman by 800s. It's
That's
raining.
about as close as it can be.
It's raining
But,
sideways. I don't know how that's possible. And anyway, Sparks loses a chance to lead in 6th. Sorry, it's raining sideways. Lead in 7th, Ash 8th, Tactician 9th, and then Christmas will get 2 points since he got the fast lap as well. Then Recon, Table Clan, Jordan Aero, Prinez. And then Prinez was a lap down, wasn't he? So he didn't even gain from Fabi's accident. And we'll confirm the full order in a moment. Blizzard, shock horror, driver of the day there. And I don't think he knows how he did it, but he's done it.
I think he knows very well how he did it.
Listen, let's just give him credit. Give him the credit.
Yeah, it was a good drive.
Let's not act like he had it given to him. He still had to go from 11th to 2nd, in fairness, with the strategy. So he certainly had the pace out there. As Danny celebrates, he's doing a little jig on the podium. Sadly, there are fans there to watch that happen, but
questionable dance moves, but certainly not questionable driving from Danny. I think that's the headline we can put over this race.
Yes, indeed. And back on the top of the championship again, as we say. With Sparks only finishing P6, he might fall down actually a couple positions. But just quickly, the order again. Danny from Blizzard, Gil, Feynman, Fast Racer Sparks, Liam, Ash Best, Tactician, Christmas, Recon, Table Clan, Jordan, Aero, Fabi, Prinez, Onyx, Walters and Juiced. I've got some people to invite for questions. I struggle to think what the heck we're going to ask them, but we'll try. Well, you're not going to take my questions, I'm going to ask first. Well, all I know is that I'm gonna grill Blizzard for that start. There's nothing else I can talk to him about, is there? Well, I guess you can talk to him about strategy, but I'll talk to him about his start. I'll let you have that one. So Danny, I just don't want us to trip over on questions. CRG Blizzard hard. Why 3 Zs? So weird. If we get stat for questions, we can go there. Right, podium finishers have been invited. They can't tell me they haven't been. They have. And they
Make
can
sure
hear
the
you
party
again,
is big enough for all of them.
Ah, yes, it's big enough.
Good.
We could have half the grid in there if we want, but I doubt.
Yeah, we don't want that. We don't want that.
I think it would be a bit of a screaming match to try and get anyone to get a word in.
Yeah.
Just gonna have to wait for them now to join, but look at that. 11 seconds it was, Danny, ahead of Blizzard. Biggest win gap probably of the season. Not that hard to do that when the first 2 races have been so close. This has been the first one where there hasn't really been any pressure on the race leader. We sort of expected that though, didn't we, from Danny? He's just been so good. And speaking of which, Danny has decided to show up in the party. Hello.
Hi.
Could you have asked for an easier race? That looked like the most dominant day.
Well, it doesn't look as easy as it was, especially the start. I knew Onyx was gonna put quite a lot of pressure, and yeah, my main strategy was just to break the DRS. I knew I could, and yeah, that was it.
I've got to ask about the rain at the end there. Did that sort of phase you at all, or was that expected?
It was unexpected because before on quali, it didn't say it was gonna rain in the race, but yeah, it was a really light rain. It just made us go like 1/10 slower, which isn't that much, and yeah.
Alright, have you got any questions, Austin?
Yes. After your last race in Hungary, which obviously didn't go as well as you probably hoped it would, is that sort of where you feel, all right, I've redeemed myself from that horrible race last Monday?
Yes, obviously. I think last Monday it was a really hard race for me. I was really angry at myself at the end of the race, and yeah, today I knew in practice I was gonna be one of the fastest, if not the fastest. and yeah, it feels nice to be back on top.
All right.
Right, have we got Blizzard in? We have got Blizzard in. Fantastic. Right then, we got to get this out of the way. Did you start that race a solid 2 seconds before the rest? Because that's how it looked.
It was 1.4 seconds. Because
Right.
I was 3 seconds ahead of Gil, and then it went down to 1.6 at the end.
You made 9 positions before turn 1. We've got to say it might have been the best start we've ever seen. Can you let us into the tactics on that one?
You know, just drive like I normally do. Just always seems to work. You know, nothing to do with the host at all.
We've also got to ask as well, apart from the start, you had actually really good strategy because you were running 11th earlier on, and you've ended up doing the ultimate strategy. You finished second, starting last on the grid. You mustn't have expected that to go as well as it did.
No, I didn't. I mean, after I got the grid penalty in quali, I didn't think I would finish top 3. I thought maybe top 5 was a possibility because alternate strat always seems to work wonders depending on where you start. And I might as well have started 11th because of my start. So yeah.
Right, have you got anything, Austin?
Yes. Last season at the British Grand Prix, you finished 3rd after starting 3rd. So, you know, fairly normal stuff there. You know, started in the podium position, ended in the podium position. How high did you think were the chances of you ending up in another podium position after qualifying?
I thought it was like 1% maybe, just had to get lucky. And I did, because there was crashes behind me while I was just driving out at the front.
Yeah, fair enough. And regarding the strategy, so you came out, I think, after your pit stop in P5, if I'm not mistaken? And what was your thought process the moment you saw where you're out on track after your pit stop, on the soft tires, on the better tires? Were you, at that point, what were you thinking? How far could you go up the order? Was second in question at that point?
I thought third. I thought third would probably be the highest I could get, but I found out that Vasta had penalties. So once I got into third, I was able to check his penalties. I thought I could get the second. I just had to make sure that I got the gap, knowing that I would lose time because of the start, and I did manage to get into it. So yeah.
Yeah. Well done.
Yes, well done. You're finally off the bottom of the championship as well. You've demoted your arch rival, well, once arch rival Louis to the bottom. So congratulations on that. Finally getting off the bottom. Hopefully you can continue the momentum now. And I don't know if we actually have Gil in here, so that might actually be it for us, sadly. I can try him one more time, but I doubt we'll get him in if he wasn't going to do it in the first place. But mind you, we keep seeing people saying, "No, you didn't invite me." I did. Trust me, I do invite people, but sometimes the game or the PlayStation doesn't want to play ball. But we'll try one more time. But regardless, well done to you, Blizzard. Probably your best drive in a while, I'd imagine that.
Yeah, it definitely was.
Right, will we get Gil in? We'll give it like a minute or two, and if he doesn't, then we'll finish all this off. You can go now, Blizzard, if you don't want to.
He already went.
Thank goodness for that.
Before you said that, he already went.
I just had to cover it, just in case he was going to sit there. Like I say, we'll give it a couple of minutes, but like I say, that is Louis now last into the championship. I don't think a single person could have predicted that going into this season.
Yeah, it's certainly something crazy.
Interestingly, Asbest, I think, also got his points off the board for the season, so that's good for him as well. And that leaves, I think, only... Table Clan too, didn't he? He got his points off as well, so I think there's only 3 drivers left who haven't scored a point, and they are...
Clan was 12th.
Oh, was he 12th? Sorry.
Yeah.
I thought he was 9th. What am I on
No.
about?
9th was, let me check to make sure, it was Tactician.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yes. Tactician Table Clan, to be fair, easy mistake to make.
Yes.
We'll start with TA.
Apologies. Anyway,
But yeah, so the drivers left with no points are IGK Juiced, Via Tierra, although he's only a reserve, so, you know, it was his first race, P14 in the end. gotta give him some leeway there. He only jumps in when at least one driver misses out. Fabi, Table Clan, and Louis. And Sammy Bean, but again, reserve. He didn't have a single race yet so far this season. Table Clan, Fabi, Arrow, if we count him, and Juiced. The only drivers with no points.
And that would be Danny now on to 35 in the lead of the championship, so he'll be nice and happy going into the next race. But I think we might have to give up on this last interview. I don't know if we're going to get
Yeah, I
into
don't think it's going to happen.
And, well, sorry people, but the news actually gets worse because the next race we're going to is Spain. Yeah, you don't have to watch, but it would help us if you did.
Don't say that.
It would help us out massively if you did. Listen, we'll try our best, but I haven't got any expectations for it. But
Here's the thing about Spain. The track itself is quite fun. It's just that it's boring to race on, but driving it is quite fun. And you know, here's the thing: we are definitely going to keep you entertained.
Oh, yes.
For that race, so make sure you tune in either way. Even if the race, maybe we get a safety car. Maybe that will spice things up. You never know what happens. This is PSGL. You never know what might happen. So make sure you tune in either way. Because the 33 laps around the circuit of Barcelona, Catalunya, it might just be a fantastic race. You never know.
And regardless of how bad the track is, you'll still be watching the 20 best drivers on PlayStation, assuming they all turn up. But from us here from the Rich Grand Prix, cheers for watching. We appreciate it. Subscribe, put notifications on, like the video. Always helps us out, makes us grow much bigger, and means that we can deliver you some more fantastic racing. Also means probably the drivers get a bigger bank account at the end of the season. Because remember, there is still a prize fund for the champions. £120 for the champion, and £50 for second, and £30 for third. So yeah, that's no incentive to watch. I don't know what it is, but anyway, cheers for watching. We'll be back next week, and safe travels. And as always, do stay safe, be sensible, wear your mask, etc.